What's up guys, ePhysics got another video for you. In this video I'm going to be talking about how I got the diamond solo queuing. So I started playing Apex 10 days before the end of season 13 and I've made my way from rookie to diamond. I'm not the best player, I'd say I'm average at best. So this is a video how you average players can get to a higher rank like diamond. Because I know a lot of people that are struggling to get out of gold or plat. So here's how I did it. First thing I want to mention is when you're solo queuing, if you find a good teammate, ask them if they want to run it back, send them an invite after the game. This is the easiest way to avoid getting kids who don't know what they're doing, don't care, don't have mics, don't communicate, and the list goes on. I did this on my journey to diamond, so I guess it's not truly a solo queue, but it's a big aspect of when you're going into a game solo queue. Don't give yourself a handicap. Try to find these people that have good game IQ and try to get in a lobby with them. Second thing I want to bring up is that if you're gonna solo queue, you have to match the energy of the team that you're put with. If they want to be aggro and go ape every fight, be aggro, go ape every fight with them. Try to have a way out, and if it is really necessary to rat the game out to try to avoid losing points, rat the game out, try to avoid losing some points. If you're the type of player who likes to go out and ape and you get a team that wants to loot all game, loot with them. Don't run off on your own and pick fights expecting them to be your backup because a majority of the time they won't be and they won't care. They'll keep playing how they play. Third and most importantly, play a character that has utility. This is the most important in my opinion. A lot of people want to go and play Wraith, Octane, Pathfinder, especially in lower elos, and that's fine, you do you. But if you want to climb, it'll be a lot easier playing someone with a scan like Seer or a good team ability like Newcastle. I personally like to be a little more aggressive when I play, so I chose to play Caustic. I think he's a really good addition to the team. Canisters can help secure a building or prevent people from third partying. His ult is good for aping a team in a house or throwing it down to prevent a push so you can get a res off. Alright, so now for ranking up, I'll start with the lower elos, rookie to silver. I'm just going to clump these ones together. A majority of players in these elos don't take rank seriously. They're playing to get away from pubs, have a little more excitement in their game. In these lobbies, it is a cluster. Lots of kids want to jump on every fight they see. So now you have to be very careful of the fights you take. Try to make them quick and make sure that you're in a good position to take another fight if a third party ends up coming up. I played on a Smurf account recently with a friend I'm ranked, and honestly, these lower elo games are tougher than platin up because you cannot take a fight without 3 teams jumping straight in your face with PKs. In my opinion, the best way to get out of these lobbies is try your best not to fully commit to certain fights. You have to be aware of teams around you. Don't put yourself between 2 teams and get sandwiched. The second you jump into a fight, just know that a lot of the kids that hear the shots will come running. These elos don't have a whole lot of point deduction per game, so that's one of the reasons why these kids just throw themselves at you because maybe they're already positive because they're top 10. You know what I mean? So I'm not saying sit up in a building all game every game, but take smart fights, get some KP when you're isolated from other teams, or it's a good fight, quick fight you can take, play zone, get your placement points. Gold elo starts to be a little bit better, just a little bit. Kids start to become aware of point deduction and they're like, oh, maybe I can make it to plat, maybe I can make it to diamond. Don't get too excited though. A lot of these kids still want to jump on fights that they have no business jumping on. For this elo, I recommend getting some early KP isolated from other teams once again. Take smart fights mid-game, but focus on rotation and aim to be top 3 to 5 every game. If you don't have any KP, don't worry, it'll come during the last few circles and that's okay. Some games you can rotate the entire map and not see anybody at all. It happens. Just don't force fights that you don't need to force because you feel like you need to get some KP. Pay attention to where the first zone pools. You really got to start paying attention to zones here. And if you have to run the Kingdom Come to get in the circle, then play your fights carefully. Try to avoid them if you need to. If you're rotating into zone, you start getting held by another team. Don't be afraid to play the zone and wrap around them. Plat to Diamond tends to get a little more serious. A lot of these players are really trying to make it to Diamond and get those end of split rewards. At the same time, you can still have dead lobbies where there are 7 teams left after the second circle closes. If you haven't seen anybody, play for end game. Get good positioning, try to get some placement points, and try to get some end game KP. If a fight comes your way, this could be a good time to take it, considering the teams are probably very spread out. Um, Here's an example of an end game where me and my team didn't have much KP. We got 1 kill and then 2 other kids ran. We didn't chase because it wasn't a good idea. We didn't have many good fights to take, but you can see here we have this team cornered in the back of zone with 4 squads left. I kind of lit them up. We still have a little bit of time to loot. We went from negative 21 to positive 135. This is another instance of a good fight to take. We're underground at labs. I have canisters behind us, so no one's going to come back through there. If they do, we'll hear them. And we had a kid knock down the stairs here. were safe from behind, so I told him we need to ape this, and just ran down myself because nobody was going. We ended up getting 2 KP out of this because the kid that rezzed him ran and tried to play zone, and they ended up dying to zone because it's a late zone and it hits hard. All right, so I wanted to talk a little bit about rotations. Um, so what I do personally is I try to aim for these outer crescents, and the reason for that is this area has a higher potential to have kids in it because it's a larger area. So you're gonna have kids from here trying to rotate in, and have kids here rotating in. If you're able to get to one of these backsides, it's a lot easier to rotate. So that's what I always aim for. And the reason for that is, you know, say you have a team up here, they see the zone pools here. They're going to start moving down. Say you got a team right here in this choke, they're going to start moving down. You got a team here. Um, so they're going to start moving up. Say you're right here, right on the edge, and you got a decent spot in that house. These kids are going to be rotating in, these kids are going to be rotating in, and so are these kids. So say one team decides to ape you, then the next team's going to try to, third party, and then the next team's going to try to third party. So it makes it a little bit more difficult. Now, keep in mind as well that sometimes you don't always want to go in the crescent. Swamps, I don't really like setting up in swamps. The reason for that is all of the houses have cracks. Kids can get on the roof and laser you from the roof. Kids can be under you, laser you from under, and you also want to keep in mind keeping high ground, keeping good positions. Uh, don't be afraid to play terrain. I've played terrain so many times and it works out fantastically sometimes. Other times it doesn't. So just keep that in mind. All right, so another big idea to understand is ratting. Say you drop Gauntlet, get contested, your team wipes the other team, but one of your teammates got knocked. Third party comes, they thirst him. You have no heals, no ammo, nothing like that. Sometimes you just got to get out of there. This can happen off spawn during a third party or just during a 3v3. If you're the last one alive and your team has no knocks, it might just be a good idea to turn, get out of the fight, get some placement points with your KP. Don't be ashamed of this. A lot of people say it's a poor way to play and lack skill, but this is a very important tactic for climbing and is done by pro players all the time. Points are points. So you can see here I'm just putting myself on the edge of the map where people are probably not going to rotate to. It's not a spot that a full 3 will, end up holding. So now this is an end game. This is the end game that got me to diamond, and this is why I love caustic. So we're not in the best spot. This team was holding high. We got the fuse alt in. I got a good thermite in. I started burning them, and I got my fuse alt in, or my caustic alt in, and started burning them real good too. So now I'm going up, I'm pushing it, and I got juked out, but that's okay. I see where they're at now. Put some shots in, not really hitting too much, but my teammates were hitting them up. Got the kills. Last squad here, and then we ended up getting a dub. Don't judge me, I didn't have a whole lot of damage this game, and that's okay that we got the dub, we got a whole lot of points, and that's what matters. So don't be afraid to play your KP for endgame, get some placement points with your KP. It really does add up, and you'll end up climbing. You'll end up climbing. All in all, I hope this gets you out of lower elo, gets you to diamond. It does take gun skill and IQ, but anyone can do it. You can see I'm an average player. I hit average shots. Listen to your teammates, be a good leader, make smart decisions throughout the game, and I hope this helps. Peace.